And hello, welcome to this video. So last video I did demonstrate how to actually get the compiler working. Okay, compiled and working on Linux at least. Now it works on Windows as well. However, editing the XML file is a different ballgame altogether. Okay, the thing here is when you edit XML files, you best want to have at least an Lsp server and also Lsp not Lsp server, schema. Okay, producing these schemas and servers are, yeah, they're available here. However, for nvim on Windows, it's a little bit problematic because I cannot easily install the nvim Lemix Lsp server using the Lsp Vim Lsp settings extension. I'm just having some difficulty. On Linux it works fine, but on Windows it's problematic. Okay. However, the instructions I kind of so-called share today, they are applicable both to VS Code and nvim. Okay. In the sense that the syntax is very similar. Okay. So basically right here I have my demo model.xml, which we wanted to use for a new file. And of course, let me show you my extensions. I'm using VS Code nvim here with a almost empty vimrc file. And one more thing I'm using is this, let's see, XML. I'm using the XML extension by Redhat. Okay, it uses also the Lemix server behind the scenes. As you can see here, it uses the Lemix server behind the scenes. Eclipse version, Lemix something point something. Yeah, you if you keep looking here, you will find Lemix. So let's Laminex. Okay, so this is the Laminex server. Okay, this is the Laminex server. Okay, and yeah, you can see how to put in the schemas right here. If you want to put in your own schemas, like, okay, it says it allows XML schemas to be associated with file name patterns. That's one of the things. Yeah. Hold on. Okay, now if you scroll all the way to the top, you will see this part called XSD validation. You can click on this and it will open up for you how you're supposed to do this. Okay, so for validation with XSD, grammar means your XML schema definitions. In order to get this thing working, your first step is to make sure that your XSD file is in the same folder as your the XML that you want to edit. So for example, I have my demo model.xml right here. My demo model XML is right here. I need to make sure that my XSD file is inside the same folder. Okay, and the XSD file I want to use here is the UA model design.xsd, which you are seeing right here. Okay, UA model.xsd. Exit that. Yeah, UA model design.xsd. That will give us the OPC namespace on line 7. This OPC namespace right here. You can see OPC namespace. Okay, so the OPC namespace is the one we want to actually use. Okay, so do pay attention. We want to use the OPC namespace. So where are we going to find this XSD file? This XSD file, if you take a look here, okay, I'm going to go 2 folders up. Oops. CD. Okay, I'm going to go 2 folders up here, or 3 folders up here. You will see that the XSD is actually under the main folder. Okay, not exactly the main folder. This is in the OPC UA compiler folder. Okay, you can see the OPC UA compiler folder. Open that up and you will see this UA model design XSD here. Now I'm going to copy this and I'm going to paste it inside the build directory. Build binary. Okay, it will either be release or debug. So what I actually built it using a release configuration, but you can just put it into the debug configuration wherever your .NET well, UA OPCUA model compiler.exe is. Just put the XSD in the same folder there. And the most important thing is for this XSD file to be in the same folder. Okay, so this XSD file here must be in the same folder as the demo model.xml file. Once that is done, whether you are in NeoVim or you are in here, as long as you have the Lmix server, Lmix Lsp enabled, which for VS Code would mean that you need to install this XML extension. Okay, this will have the Lsp language server protocol already done for you behind the scenes. Now for Vim, you will need to NeoVim or Vim, you will need to do a little bit more, but it should be doable as well. For NeoVim, you just use this Lsp Server install command. Okay, and this will work nicely on Linux. Lsp install server, excuse me, Lsp install server. You ask whether you want to install Lmix, just install Lmix. However, here you will see that here they have an error here. Okay, so once you get this working, the instruction we are going to see is over here. Okay, I'm going to use the XML model with XSD. So it says to bind the XML model, for example, foo.xml to the XSD file, foo.xsd, you can use the XML model processing instruction strategy like this. Means at the beginning of the file, you should have this XML model, href equals to something something. Over here it says foo.xsd. So we're going to do exactly the same thing. Question mark here, and then in the autocomplete, you just look for XML schema association. Okay, press tab or press enter. Both should be fine. And you're supposed to look for the UA model design.xsd. So if you want to copy and paste like this, okay, and then I can paste it. Oops. Let me open this up. So yank this and I'll go paste it here. Okay. Again, I'm going to copy. And I'm going to paste. Okay. Looks like the Vim registers are the same. So yank, paste. Never mind, I'll type it out. Oh my goodness. UA model design.xsd. Okay. Both these two tags over here, they are not strictly speaking necessary. Okay, these two tags are strictly speaking not necessary. We can actually delete them out if you want. And this is all we need. But even if you leave it there, it will be fine. You just save this and you're okay. Immediately you will notice, first thing first, that on line 31, you have one error down here. OPC model design. Okay. Let's be hover. Okay, doesn't okay. It shows here that there's an issue. If you open it up, you say the quick fix is to replace OPC model design with model design to get rid of the error. But over here it says that it will either way, no matter how you do it, it will still have an error. But the only thing important for us here is that once we have this XML model href equals UA model design.xsd, once this is out, you will be able to start editing files here. For example, you take a look OPC, you have method, you can have method, and then you have OPC children. You can do all of these things right here, no problem at all. Okay, so that's how you get autocomplete working. Whether for VS Code. Okay, VS Code, there's only one extension you really need. This is the XML extension by Redhat. To make sure it's by Redhat. And of course, I'm using NeoVim extension here just to give myself a NeoVim key bindings. Okay, giving myself a NeoVim key bindings. Okay, so that's what I'm doing here. Other than that, yeah, it will be quite easy to yeah, if not for these few errors in nvim, it should be quite easy to do it in Vim as well. I just have not been able to do it on Windows. I've been able to do it on Linux. Okay, because of the Lsp Server install issues. All right, so next thing for us here, I just want to go through some of the namespaces. For example, here you see you have OPC namespaces. Okay, the font's a little small. Let me go here. Okay, you'll see here that we have OPC namespaces right here. Okay, OPC namespaces. Yeah, the LSP of course is not working. Let me quit, buffer delete, and let me open UA model design or demo model.xml. Okay, the next one, this is the one we want to open. Yeah, so you might be wondering how do you actually get all the definitions of these namespaces? You have views here, references here. Where do you get all these from? Okay, you get it from here, opcfoundation.org/UA, and that is not necessarily a website in this case. As in, it's not something you can go online and then you search for it. That's not exactly the best way to do it. Just open it in a text file, uamodeldesign.xsd. Okay, this will let you find things like over here. You have model, object type, variable type, reference type, data type, method, object, variable, property. All of these things are over here. You can go and take a look at all the kinds of variables you can pick, and this you can basically do your object-oriented programming in the XML file, or in a way you are forced to, because the compiler only works by using these model compiler files that are written using this XSD schema. There's no other way to do it with the C# code that they have given you. Now, you also might be wondering, what are the properties, properties or data types that are available? For example, here you have UA string. So you have string, you have double, but is there a proper standard OPCUA way to do it? Answer is yes. You have to look for this URL or URI or namespace called OPC Foundation/UA. Where do you find OPC Foundation.org/UA? Okay, go to the place where it says design version 103, 104, 105. Okay, either one of them will do, but it's better to go for the latest kind. Go for the define types. Okay, there's the file called UA define types.xml. Open that up, and you will see that over here, the namespace, the target namespace is all the way at the back. Okay. Yeah, target namespace is right here. Okay, see, target XML namespace. Yeah, target XML namespace, opcfoundation.org/UA. So that's the target XML namespace. So this entire file is supposed to be, yeah, see, target namespace is here, opcfoundation.org/UA. Okay, and then it's a bit hard to read, of course, in this case, but that's what this file is saying. Okay, for this file, it is that everything here is going to target that website we were looking for, which is opcfoundation.org/UA. Okay, so that is what we are doing here. Okay, and that's the target XML namespace, and we are saving this target XML namespace under TNS and S. Okay, the target namespace will be for this file, opcfoundation.org/UA, which means every time you see the TNS keyword come up, for example like this, the keyword like this come up, target namespace is pointing to the same website as over here. This is the UA thing, UA website. So TNS is over here. So target namespace, you have default binary, default XML, base data type, TNS number, TNS integer, so on and so forth. So if you are wondering what data types are available, you can actually search them up in this very file here. Okay. Now, this exact file won't exactly work with the XSD file right here, so you got to be a little bit careful. That the method that we talked about using the href and XML model at top on the top only works for XML schema definition files, XSD files. So that is that. Okay, so we have the vector right here. Okay, and again you have data type with the symbolic name and base type. So we can try typing our own data types out and see whether that works. So for example, data type, we have a custom data type. So I go to enter. Under data type, what do we have? We can have let's just start typing OPCUA. Okay, so there are multiple things like browse name, children, class name, description, display name, encodings, field references. So it's still important to follow the properties over here. For example, like over here, the data type is this. We have fields here. So so maybe we can specify a data type called temperature, and yeah, the data type is called temperature, so it will have some certain fields. Okay, go for the fields, and let me see whether I can equalize this. Yeah, that's better. Fields, and within each field there will be a field in itself. Okay, of OPC field. That's the only thing that you can have there. OPC field. Okay, and what's the thing here? We can put name. Okay, what's the first thing? Yeah, maybe we want to have a double. Name equals to name equals to UA double. Okay, unfortunately here we don't really, if we just set it up like that, we don't have the autocomplete right here. But yeah, so that means we still need to actually have the autocomplete. Okay, pardon me, this should be temperature value C, and then name data type, okay, will be UA double. Okay, it doesn't autocomplete here. That's what I'm saying. It doesn't autocomplete here. That will be fine. Okay. Okay, now the thing is that, yes, you may notice that the autocomplete actually gives us the longhand version of closing the XML tag, because over here we see that there's no data type being enclosed here. So you will see that over here all the tags are closed in the abbreviated manner, and this thing is the same as having this kind of longhand here. Those are equivalent. Or rather, let me use a OPC field just to demonstrate. So this thing right here with a / and angled brackets is the same thing as this one here. So over here this is the long version, and over here this is the truncated version. Both of these will render the same in code, so it's okay to use either one of them. Okay, but just note that if you have this / close angle brackets, is the same as this over here. Okay, so that's how you can get the autocomplete thingy working. Okay, I would like to save it under a new file. I'll call this my model. Okay, my model.xml. In the demo model, I will just I will not do anything with it. I want to keep it the same. I'll write it out, and I'll delete the temperature thing as well. Okay, and let me close this. All right, so over here it is, we already have a data type like temperature, and okay, I would like to just delete everything out. Okay, for example, this traffic view thingy, It's an OPC view, traffic view thingy. I want to delete it out. Okay, and I want to so-called start writing something new from scratch, and then let's see the C# code. So we have something over here. It's just called temperature value C. Let me make another OPC field with an and the name attribute I will assign. You see the name. Yeah, name is maybe unit, and obviously here there's only one unit. I already gave it the unit as degree C. Okay, so UA dot colon string. I'm writing this from memory, so don't count me on that. Okay, so once I'm done editing, at least for this method, once I'm done editing, I'm going to put this over here into the comments so that it won't render this part. This was just to help the language server protocol to pick up the thing. Then I'm just going to go here. Now new vim. Here's where I have my PowerShell going on, and let me go to build binary. Here is release because I built it under a release. That means .NET build with a configuration release, and I'll make the OPCUA model compiler .cs project. That was recommended because it's supposed to make things faster. Okay, so this should do okay. But if you build debug and release together, you will often have warnings. So just clean up everything in the binary folder, the build. Okay, if ever you have an error like this, so for example, okay, when you build debug and release together, you will often have this kind of error. So let me show you. Yeah, you will see errors like this. They will say that they're system duplicates. So if they're duplicates like this, just go to the binary, okay, and remove everything under debug. Okay, or rm debug. So yes to all. And you either remove the debug or release. Don't remove both of them, because then you'll kind of go back where you started. So I'm going to rebuild the release version. Okay, it was still one of warnings as well. So yeah, there is some there is some duplicate somewhere. I cannot even remember where these duplicates are. But if you really want to so-called clean everything, okay, you want to clean everything, just go to build. I think I want to remove everything in the object file. Yes to all. Okay, go to binary, release. Okay, there should be nothing here. So delete the object file, and then yeah, just keep deleting or clean out the whole folder before you build again. Okay, let me see. Oh, cd up. And one more time. Now things should be okay, I hope. Yeah, see, once you clear out the object folder, everything will build fine. So just remember, clean out the folders successfully, either in build or the bin or build folders, and you should be fine. Okay, so go in here. I can't even remember what I was doing, but oh yes, I wanted to try compiling a new model using this mymodel.xml. Okay, so I have this mymodel.xml here now, and I want to build a new file based on it. Okay, so .NET, not .NET build, it will be OPC model compiler .exe compile. Again, if you forget, just use the help button, help flag. You close that. Okay, and then I'll make a directory called output. Make directory my outputs. Okay, so I'll use the design file. The design file will be called my model. This is my model.xml. I'll make just as before, I will make this generation file. I'll make this file called my model.csv, and I'll make the output file my outputs. Okay, output to my outputs. Okay, so this is what it's going to be. Do it into my outputs, compile with my model.xml, cg my model.csv, put it under my outputs. And then everything should be more or less okay. Okay, it's actually warning us, invalid operation exception. A node does not have a symbolic ID, name, or browse name. Parent equals to no parent. So if you actually type your name wrong, okay, if you type your name wrong, then you will be warned. So this is actually pretty good. Okay. So what else do we need? We need a symbolic name. Okay, we need a symbolic name and some sort of a base type. Okay, so let's put the symbolic name and base type. Okay, because the base type is actually referring to the parents. So I forgot to put this in here. So yeah, I forgot to put the symbolic name here. So remember to put it in. We'll get our autocomplete working again. Go to the top. Go right here, paste it. And yeah, you go to put this symbolic name here. Symbolic name is here. Let's go is temperature reading. Okay. The next thing to put in here will be the base class, base type. And one more time, base type. Okay, the control P and control N things don't seem to work here as well. Base type. What's the base type? UA.structure. Okay, so this should be fine. Now let's try the command again. That's just to fix the syntax. Invalid character in temperature reading. Hexadecimal value. Okay. Oh, right. Maybe, yeah, symbolic name should not have spacing. Okay, let's put an underscore instead. Wow, this is pretty good, the validation. At least they tell you what's wrong. Okay, one more time. Okay, so things look okay. We can actually examine our outputs again over here. Okay, my model.csv actually came out, and under my outputs you will have the constant classes here, which there's really nothing to do. Constant model. Okay, this is just one model here. Okay, there are object IDs, which you probably don't want to read through any of them. This is just one so-called system property, and of course the data types file, which as before we have everything including constructors, validators, properties or get and set, and of course a list of temperature readings as well. So temperature reading, list of temperature reading, they just put it there. Okay, so it's a very short demo. I mean, how to use this this model design XSD file. I mean, whether you put it on top or not, it seems to be okay. The code seems to run okay. You just have this IntelliSense error, or the linter actually is working. But other than that, it should be fine. Like this. Let's open the my model.xml again. Okay, my model.xml is here. Yeah, I still have this XML model href on top, and the code still compiles okay. At least it gives out the correct output, the desired output. Yeah, and we didn't even bother reducing this last part to shorthand. The OPC fields, we did not bother reducing it to shorthand, so it's fine. Okay, so probably we do want to move on to something a little more complex as we go on, but let's try integrating this into our server and see whether we can do a simulated value and read it off using another client. Okay, thanks for watching.